activists and defenders in Rivers State have called for the establishment of a special court that will handle cases of sexual and gender-based violence. This call was made during the one-day sensitization and mental healing section organized by Ole Center for Development. The event tagged one-day psychological and emotional healing for survivors of sexual and gender-based violence victims. Chief Constance Meju, Executive Director at the Center of Gender Equity and Sustainable Development, also member, Board of Trustees at Center for Environment, Human Rights and Development, said. In her remark at the event, she stressed the need for the Nigerian government to establish a special court that will handle sexual and gender-based violence, SGBV cases. She says the move would premise timely judgment for SGBV cases.
We've been pushing for a special court for gender-based violence cases. It is now imperative because the judiciary has issues. We need to have a court where you just go and in a matter of days or even that day, you get justice. We've been told that a place like Lagos has something that is similar to what we are asking for. Secondly, we have identified that there are some weaknesses in the social welfare ministry and in the judiciary. If these cases of gender-based violence can be improved on, these institutions need to be strengthened. Then we have also agreed that two major cases will be taken up by the National Human Rights Commission, while the civil society and the media will be on standby to step in where necessary.
On his part, Ambassador Tombari Dumka Kote, the Executive Director at Center for Justice, Empowerment and Development, C4J, began his presentation section by highlighting kinds of SGBV, which he says include economic violence, political violence, technologically facilitated gender-based violence. He says despite efforts of respondents to curb GBV, perpetrators are still advancing technologically. He pointed out incompetence and sentiments that reflect in the manner in which GBV cases are being handled. He therefore called for the commissioning of a special court to handle SGBV cases in Rivers State. Also, the exhibition of professionalism, competence, and unbiased amongst gatekeepers and defenders of human rights when handling GBV cases.
A whole lot of us already know what's gender-based violence, which is now a common language in our public space. We call it GBV, we call it SGBV, we call it C, sexual exploitation and abuse. There are a whole lot of it. We also now have the new version of it, which is technologically facilitated gender-based violence, TFGBV. So even when society is working towards curbing the crime and acts of these criminals, they are also advancing technologically. The judicial system itself is no longer friendly, where some of those who are presiding over these cases are themselves perpetrators. It's a challenge. So to speak, we have petition against 2 magistrates and a judge in this state who are themselves perpetrators of gender-based violence. So where do we go from here? It means we must get only those who are called. It's a call to worship, a call to service. You mustn't be a police officer, you mustn't be a civil society person, you mustn't even be a lawyer to be able to respond, because it's a natural call. If you are not wearing that thing, like Yossi Gender says, sometimes People who will run to you, you will pass with your last card. When you finish giving to them, you will trek home. But yes, that's where you're standing. I believe if we have sanitation courts, if we have traffic courts, then we can have a court for gender-based violence.
On her part, the officer in charge of gender and human trafficking in Rivers State Police Command, Chief Superintendent Officer Rachel, says the root cause of SGBV is disguised by various religious interpretation and cultural beliefs. She also pointed out that SGBV cases are underreported. Outlining the roles of the Nigerian police in handling SGBV matters, she says police officers are bound to show empathy, adding that the Inspector General of Nigerian Police, the IG, has given directives for the designation of gender desk officers in every police division across the country, so victims can report their cases in police stations closest to them.
So sometimes when I tell them this case will go to court, they will start crying. We want to settle. I've gone to court to swear affidavit. We all know that cases of LGBT are not compoundable. We cannot compound it. So sometimes when I tell them this case will go to court, they will start crying. We want to settle. I've gone to court to swear affidavit, this and that and that. Even with the affidavit in the case file, you will still go to court. Let the survivors and the parties go and sort themselves out in court. I prefer that to somebody telling me to compound a case of rape that I know that is life imprisonment as punishment. I will not do that. So sometimes they see me as a very wicked person. But I'm not wicked. I'm only trying to do justice.
Also, Dr. Patience Ebere, a Port Harcourt-based practicing psychologist, presented a mental health lecture on the topic psychological and emotional healing. She began her section by engaging participants in a self-conscious exercise. She says the exercise was to awaken the consciousness of GBV survivors that healing is possible.
You can shut your eyes if you are comfortable. Your feet pressing to the ground. Your hands on your laps. Take a deep breath in. Do not feel that you are alone with your problems. No.
On his part, Honorable Henry Eferibo, the Executive Director at Ole Center for Community Development, the organizers of the event, says the one-day event was targeted to bring together concerned human rights defenders like the Human Rights Commission Rivers State Chapter, Nigerian Police Rivers State Command, non-governmental organizations, community-based organizations, civil societies, Rivers State Ministry of Social Welfare, as well as survivors of sexual and gender-based violence, to discuss, heal, and forge a way forward to bringing gender-based violence cases in the state to the barest minimum.
There are incidents increase in issues of violence. Some are physically abused, some are emotionally, some are psychological. And sometimes when these abuses occur, we run to the police, we run to the NGOs, and then we report these cases. If the state intervenes, sometimes we go to the clinic. No matter how these agencies have intervened, the individuals that have been abused live with pains. It can live with it forever. And so we felt it's necessary to call all of us today to see how we can actually think for those who have been abused, to see who can help to build the trauma, the feelings, and then keep those things behind us and move forward. Unfortunately, some of our invitees have not been here, And that is why we decided to waste a lot of time. We know the train this morning, people could be coming from distant places because most of those that are invited had experienced abuse in one way or the other. And so we targeted our audience. So some of them don't stay in the city. They could be staying in the villages, and so they will be coming to meet us. So I'm very sorry that all of us are not right here. That has delayed this activity to this moment, but we are kicking off in the next. So most of these people had lived with this pain. And some of us as children also grew up, saw these pains, and we saw how dangerous they are. And so how long should we continue to live with this kind of pains? Actually that we continue to think together and see how to heal the pains. And that is why we're also playing some soft music, because they have a whole lot to do to build our emotions. So I'm very happy and delighted that we are here. Please, let's see how we can work together to see that these pains, they are very valid. They are very painful. It's a trauma that nobody has wished to even face. But that's a circumstance. So how do we keep them behind and move forward?
Other participants at the event also expressed their thoughts.
Oftentimes, we don't take seriously the things that are very, very important. We tend to often think that things are okay because we see people walking well dressed and all of that. Sometimes people are actually dead while walking. It's easy to see somebody bruised and say, sorry. But sometimes the person is even more bruised internally that it becomes so problematic. On that note, I'd like to thank Ole for making these plans and getting it executed today to give us opportunity to further discuss and find out how to support people who are suffering from trauma and psychological depression due to violence, rape, and all kinds of human rights abuses that have become so unable for us to look away from. It's like we not live with them on a daily basis. We're also happy that the police is here to support us in this. The Human Rights Commission, the National Human Rights Commission is also here as well. So we can begin to document these cases and see how we can take them up from there and build a network that can begin to defend people who suffer from trauma, psychological issues, depression, and any form of abuse.
Most of the complaints we get, sometimes they only come in physical, sexual. They will have the emotional and psychological aspect, but they don't really let you know about it. So with this sensitization, I think it will go a long way to create awareness and let them know that, because apart from the physical aspect, the emotional aspect and psychological aspect is a very stressful one that is even more problematic than the physical one that the survivors go experience. So with this awareness and sensitization, will go a long way in aiding them.
For those victims out there, I will encourage you to voice out. Don't relent. In as much as you have people coming to tell you, withdraw, don't go, we'll settle out, remember the consequences on the person you're going to report and all of that, don't listen to them. You are the most important thing. Your happiness, your peace, your joy, your comfort is the only thing you should focus on. In as much as so many of them want to settle out, spare you money because of the punishment the abusers will give you, don't think about it. Air out, because many are looking up to you. How will you handle it? How did you handle it? Some will come to you for guidance. So we are encouraging you to speak up. Speak up. If the place you are going to is not helping out, that shouldn't make you stop there. Move further. Look for solution for your own happiness.
I'm very happy to be part of this program because I've learned a lot. My take home today, I've learned how to heal as a survivor, how to move forward and not to live in my past. So I'm very happy.